Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Welcome to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Christmas Draft Part 2. We're here again, the fun time of Christmas, and we're doing a draft once more. I'll be hosting today as Paul's clearly on the naughty list, out drinking again. That's why he's missing the podcast. And me and Byron's on a nice list because we've got two excellent guests. We've got the presence of my future wife and Byron's wife, Cindy. So first of all, Byron, how you doing? Ready for this draft?
Absolutely. I think we should clarify that those are two separate women.
Yeah.
To be fair. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. I mean, I got what I wanted for Christmas, got rid of Paul, got Meg in, so that's all I really wanted. So hopefully we can take that into 2025. So
Awesome. And yeah, we'll shout out to Cindy. How you doing? Back again once more for the Christmas draft. Was it easier or harder than last year? Because I know we changed it slightly. So first off, how you doing? That should be the first question.
Oh, just peachy keen, Joe. Thank you so much for having me back. This is my favorite draft that you guys do, not just because I'm here, because it is something I know something about, Christmas, unlike sports betting, which I can't really add to the conversation. But I thought this one was easier. I had this done much quicker. So
yeah, wow. So I'll just explain to the viewers. This year we're doing the most overrated categories. So last year we did the best. This year we're doing most overrated. So we're doing a film, song, food/drink, and a Christmas tradition we find is overrated. I find it a little bit trickier just because I thought everything was good, and then it was just like, well, what do I also not like? So yeah, managed to. So yeah, I'm going to introduce Meg, who's if you're watching YouTube, is sat next to me here in sunny Calgary.
Hi.
So yeah, how you doing, Meg?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah. Ready for the first Christmas draft?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. It's a pleasure to have you and get you on. Do you want to just shout out your Instagram post? Like you can see it there and explain what it is?
Yeah, so starting from January 1st, I'm going to be posting a video every day talking about albums created by women. So follow me at The Female Experience to learn more amazing music.
nice.
Awesome.
Will do.
Thanks.
All right, let's get straight into it. I think let's get this Christmas draft going. We did the order prior to the show, so it'll go. Cindy has got the first pick, then Meg, then Byron, then me. So let's get this started. Cindy, with your first pick.
Oof. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was excited or scared to go first. So we're going to see how this goes. So I am going to start with our most overrated Christmas song, because I think this could be contentious. We'll see. So this particular song falls into the very unnecessary category of sexy Christmas songs. It's been covered by Madonna, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Kylie Minogue, Gwen Stefani, Trisha Yearwood, RuPaul, Kelly Clarkson, Miss Piggy, and Michael Bublé. Although he changed the words and it somehow made it like more cringy and maybe slightly homophobic. So this song has been covered by nearly 500 artists. So I think on that merit alone, it is very overrated. It was originally recorded in 1953 and performed by Eartha Kitt and the Henry Renee Orchestra. I am, of course, speaking of Santa Baby. Santa Baby. So this song hit number one the year it was introduced in 1953. People went crazy for it for some reason. The reason I feel like this is overrated, other than the fact it's covered by everyone and their grandma, is first of all, the baby voice that so many of the female vocalists do in this song is absolutely intolerable. We are grown women. You don't need to sing like you're a 12-year-old girl begging Santa for expensive gifts. I also feel like, and I know it's tongue-in-cheek and people are going to be like, oh, you know, flirting with Santa is cute and stuff. I don't know. I take this as two ways. Either this chick is flirting with Santa to try to get expensive gifts, or she's flirting with Santa in front of her boyfriend, trying to show him that maybe Santa will bring me a ring if you're not going to. So in that way, I feel like that's overrated. We don't need to be begging for gifts. Honestly, I just think, in general, this song is very cringe-inducing. If you find yourself having to riz Santa trying to get into his sack to score expensive gifts, you may have to rethink your life choices. So for those reasons alone, I'm sorry, Santa Baby, you are overrated and we need to get you out of here.
Yeah, I did forget to mention when you choose a song, you have to sing at least half.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know if I can do a baby voice with, with the swelling in my face. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. I had it on my list. It was on my, I had 4 choices, and that was definitely on there with all the, a lot of the things what you're saying, just sexualizing of Santa. It's a little bit weird song, and like you said, the baby voice is, it's a strange song, and it gets played everywhere. And is even that good of a song when you compare against all the other ones? It just feels like it's because it's been around forever, then it must be a good song. So I totally agree. Byron, what do you think of the selection for number 1 pick?
Yeah, it wasn't on my list, but it's because I'm pretty confident. I have 2, and I don't think I don't think one of them will get taken. One might. But every time it comes on a Christmas playlist, I fucking skip it because it's awful. So yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it is overrated, but fucking hell, it's just horrible. So yeah, it's definitely on my list. Hopefully, it doesn't spoil your Christmas post for next year, Meg, of Eartha Kitt Santa Baby being your Christmas post. So yeah, I fully endorse this being any pick on this list because, like I said, it's fucking horrible.
What do you think, Meg?
No, I agree too. It is very overdone, and like the baby voices, it's a bit creepy, Makes me feel a bit icky. Gives me the ick.
Great first choice, and I also forgot to mention, if you choose something which I actually love, friendship might be, So Santa Baby was a great one, Before point out, you're not the game of if you choose something Christmas for Life or whatever I love. But yeah, Santa Baby, what a good choice to get us going. And I think that's a good way, because I did think music was the hardest category I found. Yeah. I thought most of the songs were like ingrained, so it was hard to say, I don't actually like that one. So it's
a lot of them are very nostalgic feeling. Exactly. So I'm like, it's hard to pick an overrated song because they make me all feel so happy. Yeah, I totally get it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Right, let's move on to Meg. Your first choice with the second pick. What category and what are you choosing?
What am I going to pick? I think I'm going to go for most overrated food/drink item. So everyone does their Christmas dinner differently, but I'm not a fan of mashed potato, and I know some people have mashed potato on their Christmas dinner. So I'm going to say mashed potato is an overrated Christmas food. Sorry about it. I'm going to get a lot of haters.
Wow. She comes on the podcast and she's off straight away. Mashed potato. Well, I obviously living with Meg, and I knew that her hate for mashed potato, and it is a.
There had to be something wrong about
exactly.
it. Exactly.
There's like one takeaway. It's like, my life's like slightly harder. I don't have mashed potatoes as much as I want. So it was a big shock. Number 2, mashed potatoes. But I do agree. I would prefer other potatoes over mashed potatoes if I had to rank what will go on the Christmas dinner. I'd prefer roasties than mash.
Yeah.
I don't know if Byron's frozen or if he's just in shock. So I'll hand you over to Cindy. I'll let Byron get over
it. Yeah.
He needs a sec. Yeah. If you had asked me this like a week ago, I would have been appalled. But I just had wisdom tooth surgery, and I've only been able to eat mashed potatoes the last couple of days. So I am actually on Team Meg with this. Get them out of here. I don't want any more mashed potatoes till after the first of the year. Out. Yeah, they're served at every holiday anyway, so I don't think they're necessary for Christmas.
I am curious, on your Christmas dinner, do you have roasted and mash, or do you just choose one?
So traditionally American, we would only do mashed potatoes because I married Byron. He would prefer I make potatoes like 8 ways. If I could just make potatoes every way they come, then that's what I would do.
Amazing.
I would have 8 different kinds of mash if I could. Nothing else. Take all my teeth. Take wisdom, regular, baby. I don't care. Just give me
just as long as I can eat mash, I'm all good.
Yeah, mash and ice cream. Jesus, I mean, not even on the same plate, but I'd be a happy boy. Yeah, it's a bold choice.
Like in Meg's defense, you were sick on was it sick on Mash 2 when you were younger? So it's one of them food items where you were ill on when you were a kid, and then you just can't get over as an adult.
I've tried to give it a chance since. Yeah. Like, it's not like I've just avoided it. I've tried it, but no, the memories are too haunting. I can't do it.
And it's definitely like I love mash, so there's a lot of meals where Meg does say like you can just make yourself mash, but it feels just to make myself mash just feels, and I can just have roasted feels a bit. I mean, I can do what Byron did, just have both. You know, I should learn off Byron here.
Double carb it.
Yeah, just double potato all the way.
I mean, it's not even double carb; it's just double potato, and then there might be an extra carb.
Yeah, of course.
You get some starchy veg on there. They're carbish. Cindy tried to tell me about nutritions. I'm not very good, as you can tell by a man who has 2 potatoes at any meal he can. Apparently potatoes aren't a real vegetable either, so I can't call them one of my 5 a day.
Unfortunately.
You should be smashing it. Be smashing it.
If I was one of my 5 a day, I'd look like Usain Bolt. Not what I look like, so.
Awesome, right? We've got our first controversial pick. I think there might be a few here, so yeah, Meg's jumped in straight away. Might get feedback with that, but yeah, there you go. Strong pick from Meg.
I miss Paul.
Yeah, I miss Paul.
Wow.
But yeah. So yeah, it's my pick, and I think it's important to remember that it is Christmas, and at Christmas you tell the truth. Love Actually is fucking horrendous. It might be the worst any kind of film of its time. It is a Christmas movie. It is gaudy. It is cringy. It is vomit-inducing. It is worse than Santa Baby. It is fucking god awful. I seen it at the cinema as a young man on a date, and it put me off going to cinema. I didn't go to cinema again for like 10 years, literally. I hated it so much. I watched it again afterwards to make sure that it wasn't just like a bad date, and it wasn't. It was, actually became a relationship, so it wasn't just a film. Like, it is just horrendous. The fucking cringy guy with the cards, Hugh Grant leeching on his fucking secretary. I mean, you got a Good Girls Loud song out of it, fair play. But I mean, you could have done that without a cringy movie to go along with it. Just the worst of British rom-coms wrapped up in fucking Christmas. I absolutely despise it. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen. It stinks.
Yeah, it was on my list. It was on my list. We watched it. It's one of them we always watch it every year, but it's always it's. I don't even know why we do it, but it's.
You have to just watch it and not question anything.
Okay.
That's the point. And I've still not forgiven Alan Rickman. Like, I'm not over it.
Yeah. Well, this year we did it where we watched Love Actually and then Die Hard straight away, so he gets his comeuppance right at the end. So the fact that Amber Thompson is why he falls off that building. That's what I keep telling myself. So, but yeah, no, I also think I didn't watch it until we started going out. It was a
couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I didn't really get the actual point of it. A lot of the storylines make absolutely no sense, and it's just some of it's absolutely weird. And yeah, it's not. And I've seen videos where it's like, oh, it's like a Christmassy romantic song, but there's nothing romantic about like any of the storylines. They're all like weird ones, and then
it's just very early noughties rom-com. Yeah, kind of cheesy, isn't it?
Exactly. Like the whole thing with the guy from the BT adverts going to America and swimming over him, British accents don't work that way. It's not true. Unless you got to tell me otherwise, Byron, when you go to American bars, have you got supermodels inviting you back to their house?
It's always a no from me, though.
Yeah.
Got to make that very clear.
Yeah. But yeah, so Cindy, coming from the US of A, how is Love Actually? How do you feel about Love Actually? It is very British, but it's also like the shitty British stuff which came out in the noughties.
I mean, it is chock full of all these famous British actors, so the Americans love it, of course. I think it's it's one of those things that it aged really, really poorly back in the day, we didn't expect a lot from our movies. We just wanted stuff on screen and to be like, I love this actor or whatever. And now between the like representation of women, which is atrocious, they're all very flat characters and they all have jobs like housekeeper and secretary and things like that. The fat shaming, obviously, not great. And just overall very poorly written. I don't know many people today that would put that on their list of good films or films to watch during the holidays. I feel very much it's switched to the do not watch list. So personally, that's why I didn't go with it, is I just don't think it's not overrated because no one gives a shit about it anymore.
Joe and Meg watch it every year.
Well, just that, which is fine if that's their prerogative. I'm speaking from the American perspective, I guess. It's kind of like, yeah, we don't watch this, put on frickin' Elf, which is also problematic, but
Oh, the naughties.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there'll still be a lot of people like it's a nostalgia who would still try and argue it, but when you say like what makes it good, there's not much of like explanation. So yeah. Is what it is. But yeah, good pick, Byron. Actually, yeah, 2 of the first 3 picks were some of my favorite ones as well. So I've got the 4th and 5th. So where do I really want to go with this? You know what? I'm going to go food and drink as well. There's a few on my list, but this one, yeah, I've just never liked it. And I don't know why, but I just don't. It's the humble. I don't know if it's humble because it's the Christmas pudding. I just don't like Christmas pudding.
Agreed. Yeah.
I just don't. I love Christmas cake. That's the weird thing about it. I love like
it's nearly the same
like
thing.
fruit cakes. I love all that kind of stuff. But there's something about the Christmas pudding I just don't like, and I don't know what it is. You have the whole setting it on fire. Some people put coins in it and all that kind of weird stuff. But it's just. I don't know. I just don't like it. The brandy cream. Maybe I just don't like brandy. Maybe that's what it is. That's like the overall. It's just not my alcohol of choice. But I just, like I said, Christmas cake up there, be a marzipan on top. I'll have that all day long, and I'll smash that every day if I could. But Christmas pudding, not a big fan, and everyone just bangs on about it. And there's so many better puddings than that now. I feel like it's just, again, one of the things we're just keeping it as, it's tradition. Yeah, why don't we just get a good Christmas, actually, dessert? Let's get a log on there, a chocolate log. Let's get some ice cream. Let's get, anything with custard or beat Christmas.
Oh, a good crumble.
Yeah, a good crumble at Christmas. Tops Christmas pudding all day long. And then it's like, it makes sense why it's only there for Christmas as well, because no one else likes it the rest of the year. So I feel like it's overrated because people just eat it just because it's called Christmas
just because
pudding.
It's traditional.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my first pick for food and a slow drink. So yeah, I'll throw it over to you, Byron or Cindy. What do you think of that choice?
1000% agree. They make such a big fuss of it, especially the older generations. Having it in the airing cupboard for months before and topping it with brandy and brandy and brandy. It's like, all right, calm down.
So heavy when it comes out, right?
Yeah, no wonder it goes up like a flame. Truthfully, I also don't like fruitcake, so I'm obviously skewed as that anyway. But I just hate. I like a lot of Christmas traditions, but yeah, the Christmas pudding, I don't know, it just feels a bit too much for me, and I don't like it either. So like, if I enjoyed it, maybe I'd like get a kick out of the tradition of it all, but I don't. So I don't. It was on my list as well. Not a fan.
So a Christmas pudding free zone in this podcast. No one
I don't know if Cindy's had Christmas pudding or knows what it is really.
So I was going to say this is not something we eat in America. It sounds like it's akin kind of to fruitcake because you feed it with alcohol in that. I will say I can judge it that it's probably overrated or not good based on the fact Byron hasn't asked me to make it ever. Right there. It's like, okay, so it's probably not good. And then the second thing is this, I think it was this morning. Oh.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
It looks like rubbish.
I like to judge some on ham.
I was going to say the other way I would probably judge this is I read an article this morning, I think it's Aldi in the UK or something, is giving you money back if you bring in your unused pudding. You can turn it in because there's so much left because no one eats this stuff. So based on those two things, I would agree that that's a great pick. Ew, overrated, just nostalgic.
Nice, yeah. Audi getting the shout out, as always.
We love all
Yeah, that's the big things we missed.
I miss it. Just the random aisle of crap they would have.
Yes.
Oh, do you not have Aldi in Canada?
No.
We have it in the US. We're getting Aldi shipped in like an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
Not shipped, delivered, because Cindy's...
We're building one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our weekly shop Aldi.
Mm-hmm.
You getting the 8p veg like they do in the UK?
I don't think they have it over here. Everything's a rip-off.
Oh.
Yeah, no chance. I wish.
Set time. Cool, so that's the first round done. So I'll just quickly go over. So Cindy chose Santa Baby with her first choice song. Meg chose Mashed Potatoes. Byron chose Love Actually. And I chose Christmas Pudding. So I'm going to kick off round 2. I'm going to go with film. I've got a few to choose from, but this one I feel strong about where, again, it was a film I only watched, it must have been 5 or 6 years ago. And I just didn't get it. It's always on like the top list of Christmas films, and I just didn't get it. It's Christmas Vacation, the National Lampoon. I just don't understand why it's funny. It's just like I feel like it's one of them films like you had to watch as a kid, and then you come back and you say, oh yeah, it's nostalgia rather than the actual how funny it is. And I was expecting big things as well, because you always see like the top 10 Christmas films, and you see, oh, it's amazing, Chevy Chase, and all the National Lampoon kind of. And then I was just like sat there like,
we're really disappointed.
Yeah, did I actually laugh at any of this? Is actually like anything which is actually funny? It was just like a weird like Christmas film where I was just like, I just don't get it why it's up there. So that's why I think it's overrated, because I just don't think it's that good. I feel like it's a typical 80s film where there's no like great humor about it. It just like, yeah, it's just a weird 80s film and just doesn't float my boat at Christmas. So that's a film we don't watch at Christmas anymore, just because.
Watched it once and that was it.
And that was it. So weird one. So yeah, Cindy, I know like it feels like it's very big in America, Christmas Vacation, or the National Lampoons, but
yeah, National Lampoon in general, I think because we didn't grow up watching them, maybe it just went over our head. But
yeah, so this is one that when I would go visit my extended family was always on the TV. Agreed. It's not a good movie. The jokes don't land. They didn't land back in the day. I don't know why they thought it would make it here. Chevy Chase is kind of a dick to begin with. And so all those movies that he's in, I feel like either you like them all and you're just watching them because you're a fan of him, or you hate them because he's in them. So yeah, between him daydreaming about cheating on his wife and being really awful to his family in general, it's not a very good Christmas movie. I agree. This was on my list as well.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I was like, sort of like, am I missing something? Am I an idiot? Like, am I the one who just doesn't get, just doesn't get it there? It's like someone's gonna be like, oh, it's funny because of this. I'm just missing something. But yeah.
It's not funny.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Byron?
Never seen it, never planned to. Looks like dog shit. Don't like Chevy Chase. So, yeah, I'm sure it's overrated because people do like it. So I can't speak to whether it's actually good or not. But the fact I have zero interest in watching it. Yeah, we kind of mentioned this one last night. I was like, you ever see it? Cindy kind of said it's dog shit. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm never going to watch it. So.
Yeah, there's been a few. I think the film was the easiest category because there's been a few films we've watched the last few years where it's got massive hype and I've been like, oh, this is actually not that good.
Doesn't make our yearly rotation, does it? So.
But I went with Christmas Vacation just because it's, like I said, with it always being high on the list of Christmas films where, it just feels like probably 6-year-old guys are making these lists. It was funny, but yeah, it's just a weird one. So yes, that's my film. That's my second round pick. So we move swiftly on to Byron with your second pick.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with what we've got. Christmas song. The Rapist Charter, Tom Jones, Baby It's Cold Outside. Once again, gross, cringy, and that's enough about Tom Jones. Yeah, just
listening from Wales is just switched off.
Sorry, Sir Tom. Yeah, don't like Tom Jones in the first place. Don't like this song in the first place. Combine the two, and you've got me vomiting for Christmas. I dislike it. I'm glad that it kind of got a bit cancel cultured. I don't know if it's still on the radio, but it's probably become like a symbol of the right wing in recent years because it's been cancelled-ish. But yeah, it's cringy, it's gross, it's not Christmassy, and yeah, it's a Christmas song. I can't stand it, so yeah, that's my shout for worst/most overrated Christmas song, because people do still like it, especially those on the right who've adopted it.
Yeah, so it's one of the weird songs when you actually listen. First time you ever listened to the lyrics, you were like, oh. It's because like if you don't really hear the lyrics and it's just like it's like a little jaunty song, it's like, oh, this is nice, like duet and blah blah blah. And then when you like start hearing some stuff, it's like, oh, this is actually a bit weird. And then yeah, it's a weird one. I think they did try to do like change the lyrics. I think there was a John Legend one, but then I felt that was cringy as well, and just doing it for a bit of show, just like, oh, we're trying to be. It's just like, no, just why would we just not play this song and just think of new songs instead? Because yeah, we were talking about this. There's very like Christmas songs, when you think of great Christmas songs, I can't think of any like in the last 10 years or like even maybe even 15. It's just like, why can't we think of like good Christmas songs anymore? So they always try and change these songs like the baby chorus, and it's just like, just maybe just leave it. But yeah, I agree. That was on my list as well. It's a weird song. And yeah, some of the reasons with Cindy's choice. So yeah, Meg, would you think of that? choice?
I agree. It's another like gives me the ick kind of song. You know, I really can't stay, but it's cold outside. No, I'm going, mate. You can't convince me I'm leaving. You know, that's it. So yeah, totally.
Be much shorter song. No, I'm out. See you later. Alrighty. Well.
Yeah, taxes it.
Maybe I have a strong B-side.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, Cindy, I'm guessing you're strong agreement with this one.
Yeah, I think this is one of the no-brainer ones. I just feel like kind of what Byron said, as far as the people that defend this song, I think that speaks loudly to the reason it should be overrated. It is inherently not a good message. It's very cringe-inducing. I never want to hear this song again. I don't need it.
Fair enough. Strong pick there, Byron. We'll move on to Meg. We'll see if she can choose not a controversial choice, or she's going to go full controversial with all her picks. So we'll see. Staring at Byron's face to see how shocked he is with this one.
I'm going to go for tradition. Most overrated tradition. So it's a tradition that's probably only been around maybe like 10, 15 years now. And don't get me wrong, some people get really creative with it. But Elf on the Shelf, I don't know what it is. It just, like, kids have got enough tradition around Christmas. You don't need a little bloody elf to do that too. I don't know. It just, if you touch it, the magic's gone. Nah, fucking get in the bin. I can't be arsed with it.
I think it's certainly with how it's on like non-stop Facebook as well. So I don't give a shit that you've done something with flour. I don't care.
Don't care you've done something with a puppet. Like, fuck off my feed.
Are you doing this for the kid, or are you just doing it for Facebook so you can show off that you're doing it?
It's all for social media gratification, right? Like, no one else needs to know about it. Keep that shit to yourself.
Fingers crossed Byron and Cindy don't do Elf and Shelf.
For Charlie.
For Charlie, yeah.
Charlie loves it.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, we have dog on the log.
Yeah.
He wishes.
Yeah.
No, 1,000% cosign. Jesus Christ, it is off. Just another thing that's like, why is this a thing?
I don't even know where it came from as well. It's just one of them weird ones where it's just suddenly just crept into our existence, and yeah, it's just a weird one, but you know.
Like, every day you do your advent calendar. That's your thing you do every day in December. Not moving a friggin' elf. I would have been pissed, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is just another thing. Like, if you're a parent that doesn't do this thing and all your kids, friends, moms do this stuff, then you're like shamed into having to do this. It's expensive, time consuming, it's additional stress, and it's not adding anything to the kid. You're just basically threatening them that they're being watched by this creepy elf. It's like, if you're good, here's some extra crap. If you're bad, he's gonna tell Santa. It's like, what what is this kind of like terrorist cell that this elf is part of? It's ridiculous. We don't need that during Christmas. It's too much stress. It was on my list too, so great pick.
Yes.
And fair enough if the kids were naughty, the kids actually took away the Christmas presents. Okay, so this whole thing is actually working, but if the kid's a little shit, he's still going to get his presents, isn't he? So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I will do a little shout out here negatively, so I hope my sister doesn't listen or watch this. But they have 6 elves this year. I have 2 nephews, no nieces.
What?
Like, can you see that picture?
yeah.
I don't know who the fuck all these guys are. I don't know why there's 6 of them. One of them's a Grinch. So
3 each. Is that how bad the
Nephews are.
could be, yeah. I really don't know. One might be keeping an eye on her husband. Donald, I don't know.
Or might be a supervisor.
Yeah, it might be. I have no idea. I haven't asked. And some of them I like seen on Faith, like, 1 or 2 that are like, oh, that's pretty creative. But like, the majority is just like, guys, come on, just
But it's
share
like
it once.
Yeah, and someone's like, oh yeah, this and this. I just think, you've got to clean that up afterwards. You just put extra work. It's just like
make a mess for
you
yourself.
make it mess. Just like enjoy yourself, enjoy your evening, just chill out after the kids have gone to bed. Relax. Come on, Byron sister, relax.
Yeah, she works long hours. She does a tough job. Don't create a second one for yourself.
There we go. Shout out to Byron's sister there. And let's finish the second round. It's back over to you, Cindy. Where are you going to go? And you've had to wait a long time for this one.
Oof. Okay. So I'm going to go with film. And I'm doing this out of defense because 2 of the films I had are already up on the board. So this one might be a little bit controversial, and I hope my family doesn't listen to this podcast. But I'm going to say most overrated Christmas film, at least here in the U.S., is A Christmas Story.
Oh,
That freaking movie is on 24 hours straight, starting Christmas Eve through Christmas. If you're watching TBS, that's the only thing you can watch is A Christmas Story. And there's a couple reasons. This film is just packed full of that 50s nostalgia. So the boomers love it. So all of the families, all my family has this playing all the time. They quote it. It's just like gospel. And the thing is, this is another one that just aged really poorly. We're talking about child abuse, basically, with the soap thing. They don't believe in gun control at all whatsoever. Like, the kid does shoot his frickin' eye out after, the mom is like, you're going to do it. They don't teach him any gun safety. They don't go out there with him. No, go do it, right? It's fine. There's the gender roles and those stereotypes are just reinforced throughout the film, which I frickin' hate. And, the racist portrayal at the Chinese restaurant at the end is just the cherry on top. This film is just overdone. I think we need to really consider if our feeling or nostalgia for the 50s, are we just excited about the pretty lights and the Christmas trees and the funny kicking the kid down the slide, or are we actually looking at some of these other nuanced pieces that kind of make this a piece of film that freezes us in a time that really isn't inclusive and it isn't really something we should be celebrating, in my opinion. That's it. Sorry, family. I know you love this. I know you love this film, and I'm probably going to get black sheep for this, but you got to go, A Christmas Story.
This podcast breaking families apart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a film I've not actually seen. I don't think you've seen it as well, Meg.
No.
It's weird. We were actually talking about we were going to try and watch it this year just to be like, oh, we've actually seen it, because it does get mentioned quite a lot. And I always see the picture of the kid.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't ruin it. I'm sorry. I didn't.
It's fine. It might be one we skip now. It was just one of them where we've got to watch it. Just
It's such a cult around it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's so okay. So at least if we're going into it with low expectations, then we will not be disappointed. But yeah, it sounds like them kind of films.
Sounds like it's aged badly. Yeah.
And it's always one of them weird things, especially in the 50s, where people say, well, it was the 50s. Well, there's plenty of good 50s films, which doesn't happen as well. So it's hard to use that as an excuse. So have you seen it, Byron? Have you?
Yeah, I seen it after I moved here. I don't know if I was even familiar with it in the UK. But yeah, first show me with tears like, oh yeah, it's on 24 hours straight. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. No, it is. I thought that was a bit, and no, just a bit stupid. Yeah, it's not very good. I feel like so much of our media is like held up by like boomers being nostalgic for what was good in their day, and yeah, this one is just. I'm not sure what's good about it. To be fair, it's not. I wouldn't watch it. We did go to a play version of it, I believe, right, Cindy? And that was pretty fun. Because I think it was like updated a little, and it was play, so it was better. But yeah, the film, I wouldn't watch it again unless I'm sure it'll be sat on at Christmas at some point when I'm waiting for. I mean, that's a good thing about the NFL going to a Christmas schedule. You can kind of knock off the junk and get some NFL on just to keep on the good teams win a little. But yeah, I wouldn't thank you to watch it again. No, and that's not me just being fragile. They say fragile in the film.
Okay. I guess it was an inside joke there, yeah. Mr. Punch strikes again. But yeah, no, great choice. Yeah, like I said, it is one of the films where I can't really speak too much of it because I haven't seen it, but yeah. It did also speak, I was similar to you, Byron. I never really heard of it in the UK. It was only when we moved out here where I'm more like social media kind of thing where you would see more like North American traditions and stuff before. So have you got any comments? Or?
No, I think it's all been said. So yeah, good.
Fair enough. So that's round 2. So I went for Christmas Vacation as my film. Byron went as Baby's Cold Outside, his song. Meg Elf on the Shelf, and Cindy rounded us off with A Christmas Story. So we start round 3, and it's back up to you, Cindy.
Okay. I think I'm going food. Ooh. And I'm thinking this is something, because I'm pretty sure this is from the UK originally, so I'm sure you guys have had it. I'm going to basically punch down on eggnog right now. Eggnog is freaking disgusting, guys. First of all, let's talk about calories. No, as far as like indulgence, there's one thing of, indulging in the holidays. There's another thing like drinking up like straight freaking eggs and sugar and cream together. Disgusting. The texture is gross. It's just like a gloopy, gross texture. If you've ever had homemade eggnog, it's even worse. Especially because it's not made with like pasteurized eggs. No, no. I'm gonna say why I think eggnog is specifically overrated. Eggnog is one of the only drinks I know that you're adding alcohol to the thing to make it taste better versus adding something to alcohol to make the alcohol go down easier. So, honest to God, eggnog is disgusting. It's overrated. We don't need it. It's a cold drink. It's supposed to be winter and Christmassy. Bring in the cocoa. Get out of here, eggnog.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I actually had that on my list as well, even though we've got some. It was the first time I actually had eggnog. I thought it was a North American thing, because the first time I had eggnog is when I moved out here.
Yeah, we don't really have it in the UK.
Yeah, but there's a pub near us which it's called The Ship, and they do their ship nog, but I think quite a lot of the proceeds go to charity, so I was like, oh, let's buy one, let's do something good.
It's really nice.
And well, we had it first time last year, and I wasn't a fan of it at all, so I was like, do I just not like eggnog? And it just was like, is this overrated, or do I actually not like it? But this year it was actually a lot better, so then I was like, oh, do I actually say it because it actually tastes a lot nicer? But yeah, I also do agree that it's not my favorite. It wouldn't be something I would choose. There's lots better things. Like I'd prefer just have a Baileys or an Irish cream than having eggnog. So I do believe there's a lot more choices, which is a lot better.
The creamy drinks.
Yeah, like if that eggnog wasn't, the proceeds wasn't going to like a local charity here, then I don't know if we would buy eggnog. So I do agree that is probably overrated. What do you think?
Yeah, I suppose it is overrated, but I kind of like it. Yeah.
Which is fair. It's fair. You're allowed to drink it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have loads. Like one bottle is enough. I wouldn't get any more than that. And we only have a glass of it. Mm-hmm. We don't drink the whole thing in one go. Yeah, I don't know. I see where you're coming from. Totally.
But that is true about. I was trying to think of any more drinks where you add alcohol to make it nice. I couldn't really think of any. That was a really good shout. That.
Yeah.
Makes you normally try and take away the alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope. Eggnog needs the alcohol. Yeah. Double it. Get the brandy in there.
Byron, what do you think? Are you an eggnog fan or?
Not really. I don't think we've ever bought it.
There's a reason.
Have it in the house, really. Yeah, like when I go to someone's house and it's Christmas and they say, "Do you want a glass of eggnog?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I don't really know if I enjoy it or not. Actually, like I'm guessing not really, because like I said, I don't think I've ever bought it for myself. So that kind of answers the question, I guess. It's very prominent over here. Yeah, I don't think it is a British thing. But yeah, I don't even really know what it tastes like or anything, even though I've had lots of it. I think the booze does help. Clearly it doesn't help my brain, but yeah, I think I like it here because yeah, it's so prominent. But I wouldn't buy it. So
yeah, no, I agree. It feels like very like an 80s Christmas party, whether they're like a film, like when you watch that 80s and they're like drinking eggnog. But I think there's like different ones. So the one we have is very, I wouldn't say watery, so it's like thinner. But I've also seen ones where it looks like really thick, and I wonder if there's like a difference, like how people make it, where the consistency is very wide, so you could have like good ones and bad ones very easily.
Chunks of egg in it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many drinks like with eggs in it, but you know, there's some. So yeah, no, that's a good choice. Like I said, I'd be on my list as well. So yeah, can't knock that whatsoever. So yeah, we'll move on to Meg. So you picked a food and you've also chose a tradition. So you've got film and a song left. So where do you want to go?
What am I going to do? I think I'm going to go for song. And Cindy kind of touched on this earlier, but I'm going to be a bit generic. Any Michael Bublé Christmas song. There's just something about him. It really annoys me. And the whole Santa Baby Buddy thing. If you don't want to sing the song, just don't sing the song. Don't change the words, even though it's a bad song. Like, I don't know. Any Michael Bublé, I'm over it. Sorry, Canada.
I was going to say, if the Canada immigration are listening here, that's Meg Purnell who said that. I haven't said that whatsoever. Please don't kick me out of this country. I know he's a beloved Canadian legend, but
he's a Frank Sinatra wannabe, and I don't know, just something about him. Not fussed, not asked, overrated. Done.
This is where we find out Byron's a huge Bublé fan.
No, it isn't. It definitely is not. No. What's the word I would use for him? It's not sleazy. It's not suave. That word in the middle of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't like him. Someone else can speak while I'm trying to think of a word. Cindy, do you like Michael Bublé?
Well, you know, I'm always blasting the Bublé in the background, right? No, I'm kidding. He's only known for Christmas stuff, as far as I know. Like, I could not name another song by him, and all of his stuff sounds the same. Like, every Christmas song he's ever sang sounds the same. He never changes. It's just like something you'd have on in the background to drone out, like everything. Yeah, he's definitely overrated in general. And I'm sorry, Canada, but you know, maybe find someone better.
I didn't even know he was Canadian. He seems too fucking cringy to be Canadian.
Yeah, I figured he'd left in Los Angeles. Right?
Yeah. He seems too fake and synthetic to be Canadian. Canadians seem pretty pure at heart, and
Aww.
I don't like Michael Bublé. I really can't. It's annoying. I can't think of the word for the kind of guy that Michael Bublé is, but I don't like it.
Swarmy?
Swarmy. That is exactly the word. Thank you very much. I fucking hate it. Like that. Again, this is not an accusation, but he seems like someone who should have some sexual dubious things in his background and history of charming women to bed. And it's like, no, you just got him too drunk. You're a creep. I don't like the guy. He seems awful. His entire shtick is awful. Co-sign on everything here. Yeah, it almost makes it like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Almost.
Again, if the immigration listened, that was John Byron said that. It wasn't me who said anything about Michael Bublé. Just in case you come knocking on my door to try and kick me out of this country.
He should be an embarrassment.
I agree. I know he was going for the Christmas title. I know you would tell me that.
Yeah, there's something a few years ago where he tried to say he was the king of Christmas, and Mariah Carey piped up like, I don't think so. Like, you're not coming for my title. So yeah, I know that was a moment, but yeah, it just
doesn't even beat Cliff Richard as king
no
of
one
Christmas.
beats Cliff. Yeah. Yeah, any man can
Also,
do
I think the King of Christmas has a name, Jesus Christ.
blasphemous. Yes.
You know, it's the big dog's birthday after all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I got everyone going that day.
Perfect way to end that pick. So we'll move on to you, Byron. You've chosen your film and songs. You've got tradition.
I'm really torn now. It's really tough. Christmas pudding's gone. Okay. Thankfully, no one's doing it in as far as I can see. Cindy kind of is. Cindy's wearing a Krampus t-shirt for those who can't see. Krampus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, I'll allow that. But my disliked overrated tradition is the abundance of Christmas wacky jumpers in 2024. I liked it when they were genuinely kitschy and it was kind of fun and they were actually ugly.
Yeah.
But lovely. Like I have a Snoopy Christmas jumper that I've had since my first Christmas here, so 6 years now. It doesn't fit. It didn't fit then. And my heavy eggnog and mashed potato diet hasn't helped with getting Snoopy to look more like stretchy, truthfully, at this point in his life. That nose is growing. But yeah, it's an ugly Christmas jumper. It's exactly what it should be. But now companies just sell them abundantly. Everyone who doesn't have a personality wears one because they're funny. Ugh, gross. If you're gonna wear one and it's actually ugly and it's creative, ideally you put some of your own shit on it. Maybe put some tinsel around it to really ugly it up. But if you just buy one from Walmart for $10 and go, oh look at me, it's got Kevin McAllister on it. Yeah, you suck. So does your jumper. You are probably not a blast at parties, and this is probably the one night of the year that anyone invites you out to drink. So, yeah, the oversaturation of Christmas jumpers. I'm just going to put Christmas jumpers as my actual answer, but the modern version of it, I hate.
Yeah, I have this on my list. I had ugly jumpers on my list just because how commercialized it's been. Where I keep seeing like pubs, oh, it's the ugly jumper night. Everyone to wear one, and it just feels like it's become way too commercial. And like you said, people are now trying to look good in an ugly jumper, and that was not the point of it. It was to be, as it says in the title, it's an ugly jumper. You don't have to, like you said, don't get a Kevin McAllister one. Get like Buzzer's girlfriend on your jumper. Exactly. So that's where that's where the line is. We've just nailed it right there. But yeah, no, I agree. Meg, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Like, I love the super like 80s kitschy kind of Christmas jumpers, but I was out the other day and I saw one, and there was a Christmas jumper for the film It. It's like, what's the clown got to do with Christmas? It really like pissed me off. I was like, it's too far. Like, I totally get what you mean. Some of them are just made for the sake of making it. Don't get it.
And you had someone this year.
Well, I bought like a sort of Fair Isle, like retro looking waistcoat, like something Chandler Bing would wear, right? And someone at work said, oh, is that your ugly Christmas sweater? I was like, bitch, no, this is nice. I had to swallow my pride, like, yeah. Potentially.
That's like the forever rule of like, never ask a lady if she's pregnant. Never ask someone if that's an ugly outfit. You might be wrong.
It's not that ugly as well. It's a nice cool vest. Like,
I kind of feel like showing it now.
If it was very like 80s, then I would agree. But sorry, yeah, if it was like overly ugly, but she's just grabbing it now.
Like, it's just a cute little.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Right?
It's not ugly at all. People are dumb.
I bet that person's a Bublé fan.
Drinking eggnog, listen to Bublé, get him out.
Yeah.
Scarfing mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's made its way over to America, the whole ugly sweater, everything.
I think that's where they started, really.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels American.
Yeah, we had a day at work you were supposed to wear an ugly sweater, and like if you try to go into a thrift store to find a vintage actual ugly sweater, they're all gone. No one is giving those up anymore. They're putting them on Etsy for like $300 or whatever. So yeah, you're kind of stuck with buying commercialized crap, and it's very expensive. I'm not spending $70 for a ugly sweater so I can participate. So I just wore a blue jumper and said, "I'm Team Hanukkah" at work because it was easier, to be honest.
Yeah, and then you get one with lights in as well, and you're like, okay, but watch this. It's going to
Nope.
stink.
Right.
If you spill anything on it, it's like, well, it looks like that's good.
It's hot. It's a fire hazard.
Yeah. You even get like the suits now. People wearing like Christmas pattern suits, and it's like, it's too much. Like,
ew.
I don't mind a tie, okay, but a whole suit. Oh,
and I think it was like one person in the neighborhood who was like, oh, he's a Christmas guy, and he's like, oh, yeah, he's there. But now people are like trying to become that person. You're like, you're not him. You're not him, so stop trying.
When I see those Christmas suits, all I think of is like, you were probably the kind of guy who like read Zoo and FHM and like, well, not read, wanted to write for them. Like, that's exactly who you were. Like, hey, ladies, it's me. Want to unwrap? Like, no, want you to die is actually what I would like for Christmas.
Oh, Jesus!
They are pure walking ick.
Yeah, you've nailed it completely.
Right, so we'll move on to my pick. What was I saying?
Look like you got to have Cameron to do some research.
Oh no, sorry.
He's crying about his jumper.
I'll put my suit away. All right. No, I was just thinking what I'm going to choose for my picks. I've got a song and tradition. Let's go for tradition. This one came to me late, and I think it's how I felt the last few years. I think, again, it was one of them when he first came out. Oh, great idea. This makes it fun and blah, blah, blah. But it's just become too much. And it's it's Secret Santa / White Elephant, where everyone does it. Where it's just like, I've got to, it feels like wherever you are, you have to do it at work, in family, in this family, in friends. And it gets to a point where, especially where everyone's like, oh, let's keep it at, $10 or anything like that. It's like, what the fuck can I buy you for $10? Which is not just a whole bunch of crap where you're just going to throw away. You end up just getting someone who you don't know, and you're like, oh, what the heck? And you stress about what you're going to get them, and then you end up just buying like a candle or something daft like that, which they're probably never going to use. Then you put loads of effort in, and then the person's got you just bought you the worst thing ever, and they put no thought in whatsoever. And it's just like, why did I even bother? I remember doing one when I worked at Sky, when Paul was my supervisor, and I put in loads of effort for someone's present, and someone just got me a Lynx box set, and he was just like, why did I even try and think of something good and all that kind of stuff when no one else cares? And like I said, it's all a bunch of plastic crap, and you never very rarely get anything good, and it's just puts extra pressure on presents you need to get for random people at work you would never buy for. So I just think, what's the point?
Well, you changed your tune from yesterday doing Secret Santa with my family.
Well, I don't mind it, but then it's just like, oh god,
it didn't go well, Meg.
Yeah, gotta think of something else, and like if you get a good person, then it's fun. But if you get certain people, like, what the hell am I gonna buy them? And then you just end up buying them or I end up getting you most of the time. So I'm like, I've got to think of something else now on top of all the Christmas.
You get so mad when you get me.
Yeah, again. I think I got it 4 times or 3 times in a row, and it's just like, okay, I've got to get something else to buy Meg, which is good. So which is not just useless. And like I said, you get random stuff, and I think I would, like I said, I wouldn't mind if you just do one, but when it gets work, friends, and it just it goes, you get more and more. It's just I'm just buying loads of plastic stuff. I'm just walking around, Winners or TK Maxx in the UK, just trying to think of something for.
So really generic and tatty and cheap.
For 10 quid, but it's especially with inflation now, it's just if we raise it to 50 quid, I could actually get something decent. But keeping it at £10, I'm well, I'm just gonna spend over it. It's Secret Santa. I had a lot more, but so I'm gonna go with that one. So I don't know how you. Is it White Elephant more in the US, or is it mixture of both? Or?
So I think crucially, White Elephant and Secret Santa are different.
Yeah,
White Elephant is kind of fun, where you're not buying for a person. There's a game element to it. Everyone gets to see the gifts and you steal and stuff. That's kind of fun, I think.
Okay, get rid of White Elephant. Really... I'll just go Secret Santa.
Cool. So what I think is really important though is to be doing it for the group is so important, because like you say, this was on my short list of I used to hate in these offices where I didn't have any mates there, there were just people I worked with and I didn't like them, and it was now it's Secret Santa, it's great, I have to buy some prick I don't like £10 worth of junk, and they're gonna buy me £10 worth of junk that I don't want. hurrah, Merry Christmas. Like, why bother? Like, but like, I've done it like at my current work where we're like just my little team of like 6 of us done Secret Santa, and like we all know each other and bought stuff we actually like for each other, which was nice. But I think as a general, like the rolling it out across, like you say, workplaces, especially where people don't give a shit, is, yeah, I agree. Not just, it's like, it's kind of similar to like the Christmas jumper thing. Is like, it's just like forced fun, and like that entire aspect of life I just don't like. So yeah, it's a big core sign from me.
I'll have fun when I want to have fun, not when you tell me to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cindy, what's your fun Secret Santa?
So I'm glad that you removed the white elephant, because if you remember last year, that was my favorite tradition. To be honest, we don't do Secret Santa like anywhere anymore. I think because of the issues with it, right? Everyone's ending up with a crappy candle or some lotto tickets or something. I much prefer the white elephant for sure. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, Joe. The problem is that since everyone does it and every group does it, it loses its meaning and its like fun factor. Instead, it just becomes a chore and more, crap to get that people aren't going to appreciate and don't want. So I agree. Let's get rid of Secret Santa and just keep it to one white elephant event per season.
I agree with that. I think you should be like, no, I'm in another group. I'm not going to.
Yes. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
I've got one.
Yep. Can't.
Sorry, work. Not going to be part of your fun. But no, yeah, awesome. So that's the third round done. So let's go through. So Cindy went eggnog as a food/drink. Meg went Michael Bublé, everything. Byron went Christmas jumper, and I went Secret Santa. So I'm kicking off the fourth round, and my final pick, which will be a song. I've got a few to choose from. I think I'm just going to go with the similar lines to most of the other songs. I'm going to go Band-Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas. I just don't actually think it's a great song. In general, I know there's been a lot in the news now with its meaning and all that kind of stuff. But even taking that aside, it's not really a Christmas song. And I know that, we have to think about others who are less fortunate and all that Christmas song, but it's just, I just don't think it's a fun song. When it's Christmas time, that comes on, it makes you a bit sober and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't think it's a great song. It's had a few versions, and it's just like, again, can we not just think of another one? It's but yeah, that's my pick. I had a few other ones, but that's probably the one, my most overrated song, where there's a lot more better Christmas songs out there than Do They Know It's Christmas. I saw Byron shocked when I first said that, so.
Yeah,
he was a huge Bono fan.
I'm not a Bono fan by any means, but I do like Do They Know It's Christmas. It's maybe just nostalgia, but I do like it. Sorry.
Yeah. Meg, would you?
Yeah, I really like it because it has that really nostalgic feeling to it. But when you do sort of break it down and you're like, oh, white savior complex. Oh, it's a bit dense to think about. In Africa, they don't know what snow is and stuff like that. So I get those issues with the song. And another thing is like, did it only get big because so many famous people worked on it? If like just one person sung it and released it, would it have held the same like gravitas?
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I'm still going to bop along to it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's my point as well. Yeah, if only one person sung it, wouldn't even be. Would it even be like a good? Would it be on the Christmas playlist? That's how we could judge it.
Yeah.
Good question.
Cindy, what do you think of that choice?
I think I've only heard this song probably twice in my life. I don't know. It's not. I know what it is, and I know why it is, but like it's one of the ones that I kind of skip. I don't know. I don't need it. I guess I love the sentiment behind it, but like maybe the execution is just not on par with what we would expect. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the worst Christmas song. Whatever John was singing last night was the worst Christmas song. And I've already been told it's not. I don't like Christmas pop songs generally. I'm more the traditionalist. Like I like the choir kind of songs. I am very American. Like we don't have a bunch of pop songs and stuff technically, most of the time, other than covers of other songs.
You
we
have Santa
don't
Baby.
have them. Yeah, yeah.
Santa Baby onwards.
Well, hey, I'm against Santa Baby. Okay, so I'm against it for sure. But yeah, I agree that it's overrated. Get it out of here.
I'm now curious what song Byron was singing yesterday. I'm interested if it was walking in the air and Byron's got some pipes to get that high.
No. No, it was. Joe, I think you'll both like this, in fact. It's a great Christmas song. It's a great song generally. The Waitresses, Christmas Rapping.
Do.
Oh, that's a great song, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
No.
One. That's a good one.
I think it's very much. UK thing, 'cause we have like the UK Christmas #1. It's like tradition for a decade, but America don't have that. They don't have that
They don't,
concept, but but yeah, it's always about what's going to be Christmas #1, and yeah, there's been absolutely some shite there the last 20 years, but
Hey, when did Rage Against the Machine get it? That must have been within the last 20 years.
I might be like 05, so
yeah.
It's getting it. But yeah, it's not a Christmas song. That was only just
but it was like a point, wasn't it?
Let's get X Factor out of the way, but
yeah.
Now is it Lad Baby or the
Lad Baby?
What's the ones with like the Scottish rolls and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that is Lad Baby. They've had #1, I think, 4 years in a row prior to the last two. Last year and this year, I'm very happy with what it was, and it is Last Christmas by Wham. So.
Oh yeah, because it was the first time they came #1, wasn't it?
It's going to be again this year. So that's
another thing. Do They Know It's Christmas took #1 spot away from Wham, so that's why it's another reason why it's overrated. Because Wham's one of the best ones.
Well, George Michael still got one, so.
I probably shouldn't mention this then, but Wham was my backup if I didn't get the first spot. So that was the one I said, if I have to pull that one out, I'm going to have the Brits mad at me.
I even heard Charles in the background gasp as well. Shock.
I don't know. I have my own issues with that song, but that's great that you guys love it. I'm happy for you. I shouldn't have said anything. Look at John. I'm getting divorced for Christmas, evidently over Wham.
So unfortunately, Cindy's had to leave the podcast.
She will be back.
The song gave his heart away.
Yeah, it's like all about failed relationships. It's not real Christmassy. It just happened to happen during Christmas. It's self-indulgent. I mean, I know Jimmy Eat World also covered it, so that's like a double. If I were I knew John would definitely not be happy. So I didn't have to use it, though, see?
Good.
Right. Well, thankfully no one's upset then, because you didn't have to use it.
It's not on the board. It doesn't count.
Cut this. It's getting cut. So it's my last pick. I'll try and pick myself up and make a pick.
Drawer off the floor.
Yeah. Okay, I had one that I was kind of thinking of, but I don't think it's rated enough to go with it. So I'm gonna go a bit. It's my food. It's a bit big of a category, but we've got Michael Bublé in there as a category, so I'm gonna do it. Your main meat on your Christmas dinner is kind of an irrelevance. You've got pigs in blankets, maybe Yorkshire pudding, depending on where you're from and how you feel about it. You've got 2 potatoes minimum. You've got parsnips, roast carrots, gravy, if I didn't already mention it, some nice green veg, maybe broccoli, maybe a sprout. You don't really need the meat. It's nice as a little extra, but the fact everyone has different ones, in fact, a lot of time it's not that much different to a roast dinner. Keep it. Just do up your roasties with goose fat and make them special. Make everything nice. Otherwise, and you can keep the meat. I was veggie for a few years. I didn't really miss it. You get all the greatness of a Sunday dinner. Oh, stuffing. I didn't mention stuffing. All those great things. Do you really need a couple of bits of chicken or some beef that quite often isn't cooked well enough? No, not really. So you can live without the meat. It's an overhyped part of the meal. It doesn't really matter what meat you go with. It'll be fine. Just enjoy all the rest of the stuff that's actually bomb about a Christmas dinner.
That's a big pick. Yeah.
That's big because if you don't have meat, how do you make your gravy? Like real gravy. That's my only problem with that.
It's not so much like you don't have it. It's kind of irrelevant which one it is. Like, if you have beef gravy, chicken gravy, it's going to be good either way. So,
yeah, actually, I had turkey on my list, so maybe not the whole thing. I had turkey itself because I think there's a lot better alternatives. But yeah, the main meat, that's strong. Only thing you'd miss out on is the leftovers the next day.
Yeah.
Sandwiches and whatnot. Because I think we're going to have beef again this year, so having like the next day beef sandwiches sounds wrong. You're telling us out on that. But I get what you mean in terms of if you were ranking what was on the plate, the meat would probably be, mid to lower. So it isn't overrated with how much effort you have to put in for the meat and how much it is and what you have to do for that. So yeah, I agree with that. Cindy, how do you feel about Byron doesn't like the main meat?
I'm team vegetarian on this. Sorry, get rid of the meat. Don't need it. I'll take the 2 potatoes, even the mash. That's fine. I can deal with the mash if I have to. Yeah, I don't know.
Blessing, not a curse.
For me, I've always been more excited about the sides and the rolls and the desserts. I'm also very adamantly against Turkey Joe, so I would understand that completely. But yeah, I don't think you need the meat either. All the sides are way too good to even care about the meat. So I agree.
Yeah, good choice. I think that could be a controversial one if someone just sees the list and not actually hears the explanation. So
main meat.
Byron's going to be in the comments being like, if you even listen to the show when people are kicking off. But no, yeah, I get that choice. Makes sense. Overrated. Yeah. So that's Byron finished. So we'll move on to Meg, who has
my film
left. Yeah.
So I think we only watched it maybe a year or two ago for the first time. Bad Santa. Not that fussed about it. I like Billy Bob Thornton. I like Lauren Graham, big Gilmore Girls fan. But watching Bad Santa just changed my whole perspective of her. Like it ruined it. And I was not impressed with the film. Just thought it was shit.
Yeah, it was a weird film where, again, I expected big things because I heard a lot about Bad Santa and how funny it was and all this kind of stuff. But again, it disappointed. It was one of them where there wasn't that many funny parts to it. And again, where I was started like, am I missing something? Is there something like I just don't understand? Am I that fake that I just don't understand Bad Santa? But yeah. But yeah, just I think again it's one of them where it's always ranked high or people always bang on about it, and then you actually watch it, it's like, oh, it's not that good of a film. It's just a bit cringy. Again, it's another noughties kind of
not aged well
film where there's a lot around there where when they came out everyone loved them, and then you probably still like them now just because it reminds you of being in the noughties. But actually, if you watch it for the first time, oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I think it was trying too hard to be like not a traditional Christmas film.
Yeah.
Who's an asshole? Like, I don't want Santa to be an asshole, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, did not like it.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, and I think I remember finding it like okay at the time, but I've had no interest in rewatching it or revisiting it.
What?
I'm sure whatever I felt towards it at the time, I would think a lot worse of it now. So, yeah, it's not on my rewatch list. Not moved by it in any way, so I'll sign off on it. Yeah, it's been not great.
Yeah, same. I'll have to say, like, it's one of those ones that, like, if you want to be different, you say that's your favorite Christmas film because, you know, it's edgy or whatever.
Yeah.
Fun fact, my dad was a Santa Claus. So he actually opened one of the big malls here when it was first built. Like, he came out in a drawn sleigh with Mrs. Claus, and he did Santa every year for a lot of years. So, like, I really love Santa and, like, expect Santa to smell like peppermint and have that soft voice and that twinkle. You know, my dad was very good at it. And so, like, seeing someone be a bad Santa, like, kind of hurt my inner child a little bit. I'm kind of like, I understand this is supposed to be funny, but, like, man, there are a lot of bad Santas out there. Maybe not quite that bad. But Yeah, I understand. We don't need that. Like, it doesn't add to the Christmas feeling at all. It's unneeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad I didn't, for my song, I was going to choose Mummy Kissing Santa Claus. But that may have been a hit too close to home for you.
Maybe a little.
Yeah. No, great pick. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, she's what I mean. That's awesome about Cindy's dad being Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's so cute.
All the shout outs today are, Christmas swings and the Troy's families together. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Great teams together. Awesome. So yeah, we're going to finish the draft with Cindy. You got your tradition left as the last pick of the draft.
So the one I was originally going to go with was the Elf on the Shelf because I find that offensive in so many ways. So I'm going to go with my second one, and this might be a little controversial, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but I'll maybe a little soapbox. So the tradition that I sincerely dislike and think as I've gotten older, it's gotten more and more something that I don't want to prescribe to. I'm a hypocrite, by the way. I'm going to put an asterisk next to this. I think presents for adults is ridiculous for Christmas. To be honest, buying presents for adults, I very much feel like presents for kids. Yes, Christmas should be about the magic and kids and that. But as I've gotten older as an adult, I would much rather see that money go towards charities or go towards helping others in need than to just bolster and buy gifts for people just because you need to. I'm not saying anything. If you have like a significant other or a family member, you found something thoughtful to get for them, great. But just the idea of buying mass amounts of presents for adults because it's Christmas and we all have to go around the circle and open up 10 gifts each, to me is ridiculous. I'm going to do a shout out, and I should have done this at the beginning. So I started working for CASA this year. And CASA is the court-appointed special advocates, and we work with kids in the foster care. And these are kids that are taken away from their homes because of their parents not being able to take care of them. And Christmas is really hard for these kids, obviously, not being with their families. And I was fortunate enough to help with the Christmas trees this year to collect gifts for them. And I'm trying not to cry. Sorry. It's just hard. If you're able to give to other people during this, I'm sorry, guys, one sec. I apologize. If you're able,
to talk too hard here.
No, but if you're able to give to others, and if that means you get one less present, maybe think about that. That's what this time of year should be about, is helping others. And I know as adults, we like to get each other gifts and stuff. But to me, with the consumerism and just having to buy crap, I don't need another set of socks. I don't need slippers. I don't need hats. Buy a coat for a kid, man. Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying. Yeah, don't buy from Amazon either in general. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to end on that note. But I just think it's a silly tradition to just buy shit to buy shit. If it's meaningful, do it. But maybe think of others.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not looking at that.
Sorry, guys.
Comments, no, it's a great message. Like I work I work for a non-profit too, so it's always great at Christmas to help those in needs, and it certainly goes a long way. I don't know if it was a great moment to let Byron know that he's getting no presents this year.
We don't do presents. John and I don't do presents. To be clear, for each other, we don't.
Oh.
That was a mutual decision. Then he told me I'm getting no presents, and I agreed.
We do get Charlie a couple things. He's our baby, like he's our child. Yeah. But for each other,
25 mornings a week at Christmas.
Yeah, for us, we take that money and we donated it.
Nice, that's a great
really
idea.
Sweet. Yeah.
Can't really say much negative about that.
No, there's definitely like a huge over-consumerism byproduct of Christmas now, isn't it? You know, where Christmas is about getting together with family and giving to those in need. So totally get where you're coming from. Like we have a very small limit to what we spend on each other, and it's usually things that we need. It's not cheap shit tap that we try and fill each other up with. But yeah, I think if anyone can give time or money to those who need it at Christmas, that's especially the time to do it, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. And I definitely think in terms of, so we get we get each other presents, but like I've stopped getting my sister stuff and like other family members just because, like you said, it's just
the sake of doing it. Right?
Yeah, it was the sake of
Right.
doing it, then just getting
The
like
obligation.
the obligation to actually. So yeah, there's very few other adults to buy for now. But yeah, great choice, good way to end. And yeah, the Christmas message is to help others and whatnot. So so let's do some honourable mentions. If anyone's got anything else they want to get off their mention, and if you've got any, Byron, which you want to just shout out before we do the voting.
Sure, yeah. But for song, I also had Mud, Lonely This Christmas.
Oh,
ooh, okay.
A dog shit Elvis version of a Christmas song. Don't like it, don't care for it at all. My Christmas dinner I was going to go with, or food item, was going to be Brussels sprouts, but I don't think they're actually really highly rated enough to be thing. And like, I just hate the like the rebirth of sprouts. It's like, oh, actually, you know, if you cover them in balsamic and bacon, they're actually kind of good. It's like, yeah, no shit, what isn't?
That's the way I eat them, so completely agree. Like, they have to be covered in bacon and maple.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to actually season them to make them nice, you know?
Yeah, which on a Christmas dinner, quite often, they are not. They are steamed and put on your plate as a concentrated cabbage, which no. I also had mince pies on my shortlist, which when you get a good one, they're good, but for the vast majority, they're not. They're just really doughy and bad pastry and not flavorful enough.
Yeah.
For traditions, I had the Queen/King's speech. Again, I don't think that's rated by any of us, but there's still like a thing of like sitting and watching it at some point. It's like, fuck off, bollocks to you. And I also had caroling. If you want to do a carol service at your church or your community event, great, good for you. And I think, again, this is kind of more of an outdated thing because you'd probably get knifed if you tried doing it on someone's doorstep in this day and age. But coming to someone's door and singing at them,
You'll be like, fuck off, mate, you know?
Yeah, that is horrendous. Don't bang on my door because you have a public need to perform. If I want to see you, I'll seek you out. So yeah, those were kind of my honourable mentions. I only had one film that I don't like, and thankfully Love Actually survived to pick 3. Yeah, so that was my entire honourable mentions. I did ask Paul if he had any, and being bar humbug, he said not thought about it. So yeah, good to see his heart's in it, even if he couldn't make it.
His liver's in it, but not his heart.
Yeah, well, I think like that might be what he wants for Christmas next year, a new liver.
Yeah. Cindy, have you got any honourable mentions you want to shout out?
Yeah, so for movies, I had nothing. You guys nailed all the ones I had on my list. Because, yeah, all terrible, terrible things. As far as song, you all know how I feel about Wham! So I don't need to rehash that. But I also put Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree on that because I hate that song. That was more of a personal vendetta and like third on the list just in case. Food, I don't know if this is, I don't think you guys do these in the UK as much, but candy canes are something that I had on mine, mostly because you hang the same ones every year on the tree and they're like 10 years old and they're disgusting. And then you like go to eat when you're a kid and like it's not edible. But also the fact that like every candy has its own flavor of candy cane now, so it's not just like mint. It's just like a whole aisle of nothing but candy canes and it's awful. And then for tradition, the other one I had on my list was Christmas cards. Once again, I feel this is like one of the things like, and I meant specifically like the funny photo Christmas cards, like get the family together and do like what a disaster Christmas looks like. And, you know, you have like the tree is half down and something's on fire. And it's like, oh, we're so funny and, you know, kitschy. It's like, I don't need to see this every year. So, yeah, that's what I had.
Meg?
Oh, I had a couple. So film Deck the Halls. Like, we rewatched this a few years ago and loved Danny DeVito, loved Matthew Broderick, but it just fell really flat. I was really disappointed. So yeah, that doesn't make our yearly rotation. A little bit controversial on the song. I did mention her earlier. All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey. It's just overdone now. Like, I know it's a good song, but it's everywhere. And no one can cover it because no one can sing it as well as her. So we're just going to keep getting this version.
Yeah, I think everyone sees it as the #1 Christmas song.
So it's overrated for me. It's good, it's better. So yeah, that was my controversial song as well. And And another tradition I'm not that fussed about is mistletoe. I think it's really old-fashioned now. It used to be a way of young people who were courting could sneak a little kiss in, but now I'm not fussed about forcing people to kiss under a flower. Like, it's weird. Yeah. That's me, really. Yeah.
I'll shout mine out. So, food and drink had mulled wine. Just again, why make wine taste worse?
See, I don't like red, but I'll drink a mulled.
I just don't like mulled wine. It just doesn't do it for me. I'd rather just drink wine itself. You know, what's the point of changing it? Tradition, I had a few. Controversial. I had stockings. It's like you got Christmas presents on the tree. Why do you also need stockings as well? It just feels like doubling up. Christmas parties at work. I feel like they're getting worse and worse now. They're not as fun as they used to be. But I didn't want to shout.
Well, we were watching Die Hard, and I said I would have loved to have gone to a Christmas party in the 80s because you probably would have got away with a lot more shit then. But now it's very HR red tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they're not.
You can't just grow up who you want nowadays, Meg. I'm sorry. You can't do
lots of cocaine.
Yeah, office parties now are just
Political correctness gone mad.
What was that say?
It's political correctness gone mad.
Yeah. We know which one Byron's not going to vote for. I also thought Christmas markets, especially like in the UK,
God, yeah, great
and
show.
North America, just because like the traditional ones are great, but it just feels like everything's very similar. Everything's so expensive, and I feel like every time I go to one, they're always super busy, and I'm always like, "Oh, that's interesting." But I never buy anything because I've just gone there just to walk around and just like, "Oh, that looks good." But I'm not
$15 for a pint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we went to one and we got coffee, which was $8, and then you could get Baileys in there. It was like an extra $10 from the Death Last, so we ended up spending like $18 on the coffee with a little bit of Baileys in.
Oh my gosh.
I was mad.
Yeah.
So mad.
So Christmas market. Musa mentioned mummy kissing Santa Claus just because Michael Jackson's a snitch to Santa, you know, just telling him his mum's kissing Santa Claus, well, you know, let it be. And the controversial was Polar Express. Just don't get it, man. It's just not as good as his hype. But I didn't. But you know, that was just an honorable mention.
Kept that to yourself, didn't you?
You know, someone put that in an important way. So please do not take that into account when voting. Cool. I'll just run through the what we all chosen, and then we'll vote for who we think's the best. So Cindy went for Santa Baby as a song, A Christmas Story for a film, eggnog for her food/drink, and presents for adults with an asterisk as her Christmas tradition. Meg went for mashed potatoes as a food and drink, Elf on the Shelf as a tradition, Michael Bublé, Everything for her songs, and Bad Santa for her film. Byron went for Love Actually as his film, Baby It's Cold Outside as his song, Christmas Jumper as his tradition, and the main meat for his food. And I went Christmas pudding as my food, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation for the film, Secret Santa for tradition, and Do They Know It's Christmas as a song. All right, so we're actually going to vote on paper to make it easier. So
I have paper too.
Oh, we'll do it on paper. So if you write down who you think's the best, then we'll figure out and we'll say who's won.
Can't vote for yourself, right?
No, you can't vote for yourself.
That's the spirit, Meg.
My first time playing.
Cindy, are you prepared or you're on mute? You're nodding. Okay, cool.
Right, is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
Cool. All right.
Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I've gone Cindy as well.
I said Byron.
Yeah.
Oh, we got
tie.
We got a tie.
I went Byron as well.
So we've got Cindy and Byron as the Christmas couple who have won this Xmas draft. So we'll let you two fight out who's the winner. To decide. Yeah, congrats, Cindy. Congrats, Byron, on winning this year's Xmas draft part 2.
Thank you. This is great, guys.
Yeah, so thank you for everyone who's listened. Thank you to Cindy and to Meg for joining us. Yeah, this has been great. We'll probably try and do one next year. So if anyone's got any ideas, we'll have to think of a different one for the draft next year. As always, follow Good Team Doing Great Team Covers on all the socials. I use the GTW_GTC on Instagram, X, TikTok, Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. I always forget what it's called. I always say like an airline. So yeah, follow us all on them and see us on YouTube on Good Teams Win Great Team Cover. Me, Byron, and Paul should be back tomorrow or Tuesday for the week 17 preview. Week 16 review. There we go. There's too many this week. Yeah, we'll be back then. So yeah, if you don't hear from us, hope everyone has a great Christmas, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.